What's up, y'all? It's your girl J Renee for Prison Riot Radio. I hope that you're doing well. I got one of my favorite guests back, okay, Kwame Shakur. But this time we're not talking about just his music. He do a lot more than make music. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna dive into that. How you doing, bruh?
Free to land, sister. Thanks for having me back on. I'm good.
All right, for sure. So let's jump right into it. So some people that might follow you, they might just know you for your music, you know what I mean? Which, is definitely commendable because you do have some, some skill, some verbal rap ability, you know what I'm talking about? But there's a lot more to you than meets the eye. So we have, the Support Prison Lives Matter and some things like that. So let's start with that. Tell us more about that organization because you had a hand in starting that whole thing, correct?
Yeah, I'm the national director for the Prison Lives Matter movement. Mm-hmm. And the way that came about is in 2016, some brothers in Virginia seen the work that I was doing around the country just in terms of the New African and the Black Liberation movement in the community and organizing leadership. So they asked me to start the Prison Lives Matter movement. Just basically, they already had the name and the concept. They just needed me to create a political line and an infrastructure. And that led to me starting the Prison Lives Matter National Coordinating Committee, which is basically the infrastructure inside and out of the leading political prisoners, prisoners of war, and all other prison abolition formations in the United States is really active in trying to destroy these prisons.
All right, for sure. So you said something about a Prison Lives Matter journal. So what exactly is that?
Yeah, the Prison Lives Matter in the Spirit of Nelson Mandela journal is a tool that we've developed to help develop cadre and create unity and also help further this infrastructure within the overall prison movement. It just went to print and distribution last week, so we're hoping to have that out. We'll order 800 copies, so it's going to be going to 800 captives around the nation. And what we're really trying to do with that, a lot of people got the zines and the newsletters going on right now, just talking about prison issues and conditions, but what we're trying to do with this to separate ourselves from that is really put political science into it and raise the consciousness of ones on how to really develop the tools that we need to move forward just beyond the talking and the marching, right?
Right. Okay, I can dig it for sure. So, we were talking about, you were saying like there was different chapters that was getting opened up and stuff like that. Can you expand a little bit more on what you meant by that?
Yeah, like I said, with the Prison Lives Matter National Coordinating Committee since 2018, what that's been is just me going around the nation on the streets and in prison, handpicking people who are in a position to really develop the prison movement to a national level with international recognition and support. People who we know already been doing this work by putting political education programs inside the camps, and also who have the ability to coordinate the inside-out relationship with activists on the street, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now we're moving to the next phase of the Prison Lives Matter movement and turning the NCC into regional organizing committees and really using the blueprint that my comrades have used up here in Indiana with N.A.L.C Watch, and they have several chapters all throughout the state, and they have like a real beautiful inside out coordination, and they having PE classes in the prisons and just a whole prisoner support network for the inmates and the families. And so we're developing the Virginia Prison Abolition Committee right now in Virginia, and they're doing the same thing in Texas and New York and California right now.
Yeah, y'all definitely doing big things for real. And we appreciate y'all for that for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. I heard you mention the IODC Watch. Can you let everybody know a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, the IDLC Watch is the Indiana Department of Corrections Watch, I mean, it's basically right there in the name. The comrades formed a watchdog group to put a spotlight on the inhumane conditions, the violations on international law, and the mistreatment of captives in Indiana. And just following the concept of inside out. Like, you can't have a prison movement or a prison organization that's led by people on the outside. It's got to start inside, and the work that we do has to carry on, and y'all can be our voices and our boots on the ground. And so IDOC Watch has really been fundamental in not only the success of Prison Lives Matter, but with the N.A.L.C as well. They're just helping us organize events and people's assemblies over the past few years.
Yeah, I was about to bring up that. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
And also just setting the tone and an example for the rest of the nation. Like, a lot of people see what's going on up here with IDOC Watch and the type of statewide structure that they've established, and the other ones are starting to follow that example, because that's what's been missing. Like, for the past 50 years, since the inception of the prison movement, is that there was no national strategy. Like, we all have a common enemy. We're all fighting the same oppressor. But at the end of the day, we're all in dozens and dozens of splinter groups. So this infrastructure just ties it all together.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the N.A.L.C. That's something that I've been talking to you about, as well as Kwame Shakur. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm the co-founder and chairman of the New African Liberation Collective. As you mentioned, my co-founder, Kwame Shakur. We started in 2015. That's the year that I became a citizen of the Republic of New Africa. And when I came into the nation, I noticed that, like the prison movement, there was so much potential. We all had the same theory, the same ideology. We all reading and studying the same books, standing on the same principles. But nobody was connected, and what was missing was a national strategy. So the New African Liberation Collective, what I've been doing is similar work with the prison movement, is just trying to unite all the leading cadres and organizations around the nation so that we can rebuild the New African independence movement and put these programs back into the hood and into our communities, and really just guide the people and raise that conscience so they understand the core issues of our oppression, because you got a lot of these reformist, reactionary organizations out there in the streets that they calling for these marches and these protests every time our people get killed, but beyond that, they're not giving the people the fundamental tools that they need to build and sustain the movement for liberation, right?
Right. I got you. Yeah, we definitely, like you said, everybody be in the same book, but not necessarily on the same page. So you're definitely putting in the work to get everybody united, because we're going to have to unite to fight this system. You feel me? So I'm glad that you know that, and we're glad to have brothers like you. So what else you got going on?
Right now, we just put an addition on the N.A.L.C website, which is newafricanliberation.org. And we got a page up for the land fund for the New African People Center, where my mother and I, we had bought land on the same block where I grew up, where my family's been for generations, to the community center in my city that my grandfather and his comrades founded in 1970 for our people. It's been gentrified and taken over by the city. They putting their programs in there and denying the New African and Black community access to it. So we're just going to lead by example and really show the people how to put forth self-determination by creating our own people center for the people and putting these programs in there. But the main message that we've been trying to push around the country since we've been promoting this land fund is that this is bigger than Terre Haute, it's bigger than Indiana, and it's bigger than N.A.L.C. This New African People Center is going to be used as a central organizing hub for not only the prison movement, but the New African independence movement in Froland as well, which is the front for the liberation of the New African nation. Because back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, that's what made the Panthers and the Nation of Islam and the Republic of New Africa so successful, is that we had ministries and cadre bases and headquarters in almost every major city in the country. So we were visible to the people. We were something tangible And they knew that they could come to us for clothing, for food, for health care, for all that, right, for security.
Right.
So we just trying to bring that back with this new African People Center.
Right. Well, it's definitely going to happen, bro, for sure. Well, like I said, I always enjoy speaking with you. You always got something going. You know what I mean? The people appreciate you. Our brothers and sisters behind the G-Wall and their families that are free, you know, appreciate you. So, before I let you go, you got anything else you want to add?
Nah, just for everybody just to get involved, whether it's with N.A.L.C or Prison Lives Matter. Do your research. Find organizations in your region, in your city, that's really putting in the work, real revolutionary work that can lead to change. You know what I'm saying? Because the people, they're getting, you know what I'm saying, woke, they becoming conscious, they want to get active. But the only people that they're seeing is the people that the establishment is putting on TV. You know what I'm saying? The same tactics they used back in the day in the 60s. So our people are being led astray and going out and joining these formations because that's all they see. But there's a lot of work going on. There's a lot of good organizations out there within the overall movement that you can tap into. And I just encourage everybody to do that, get educated and get active.
All right. Well, y'all heard the brother. Y'all make sure y'all check in, tune in, and tap in. All right? Because this is our fight together. This is your girl, J. Renee with Prison Riot Radio. Peace.